The reason why there's over 500,000 Black women that are getting laid off and having a hard time finding a job is because these companies no longer want to deal with any more racism and discrimination cases. Now, I worked in HR for over 10 years and I was actually let go because I took a look at our budget report and saw the pay differential between our white and Black employees, and I exposed everything was ultimately let go. Now, being an HR girly, you're well connected with other women in HR at different companies, and a lot of us had the same experience. We would receive a lot of discrimination cases from Black women in leadership positions. Now, keep in mind, these companies were required to maintain a certain amount of Black and brown staff members at one.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm gonna back up for a second. So you got let go, and I just want to make sure that we're level setting here. You got let go because you released proprietary information that was not supposed to be released, and so basically you got fired for doing something you wasn't supposed to do. All right, let's continue.
Point, and a lot of these women were ending up in management positions. Black women were at the top of their game for a while. But if they began to be a company nuisance, they would do anything to get their ass out of the door. And when I say a company nuisance, that means reporting discrimination, reporting racism. As soon as you do it, there is a target on your back. These companies will hold meetings with the top management and HR and say, hey, this person's becoming a company nuisance. They're affecting the company morale. What can we do to shorten their time with this company? At which point we would go through all the policies, procedures, your performance, the company handbook, and see if there is anything that they can do to get your ass up out of there. Things like you might have been able to be 15 minutes late consistently due to traffic before, but now they on your ass about your punctuality. You might have been able to come into the office with a bonnet every now and then because you're having a bad hair day, and now you out of dress code.
Wait, wait, wait a minute, wait a minute. So y'all breaking the rules, not doing what you're supposed to do, and you're ruining the company culture and making things difficult for other employees while at the same time complaining. And you also admitted that you got to some of these positions because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you basically was running up a bag for positions that you potentially didn't even deserve. And you coming into the workspace with bonnets on because you had a bad hair day, or you can regularly show up 15 minutes late for work and you think that the company is supposed to put up with that nonsense. All right, listen, if you ever work for a company that has lax rules, that's the company that you generally don't want to start creating problems for, because you are in a unicorn type of situation and you do not want to mess it up for everybody. You don't even want to mess it up for the company culture because you basically putting everybody else at a disadvantage and messing up they play, right? So let's say, for example, I used to work at the University of Michigan, and there was no policy for whether or not, and you got to remember, this is way back in 2012, 2011, 12, 13, that around that time, right? And so this is coming out of the housing crisis.
I don't really see anything wrong with people coming to work with bonnets on, if it's allowed. You know, um, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, I guess it depends on the line of work you're doing. If you're a doctor, lawyer, I don't think I want you on my case. But if everybody else is doing it, why the hell can I do? Why can't I do it? So that's how I feel. Drop a comment down below. I don't think you should be targeted neither. And I don't think that she did anything wrong by exposing, she shouldn't have been fired. So
prices, and I didn't need the salary, so I was in a really great position, but they was paying for me to go to school. So moving away from community college over into a major university that was paying for me to go to school, I was able to bank the whole salary. They double matched my 403b, which is like a 401k. And so the benefits was tremendous. Also at that time, and I'm not sure how it is now, because things have become pretty liberal up in Ann Arbor, but the benefits, the campus, all of that stuff, it was really, really great. I mean, it was so cool to where I thought about moving up there just because I liked the culture. You had no restrictions. The boss was cool. Everything was awesome. I loved it so much up there. I said that I didn't even care about the salary. That somebody would have to offer me a crazy amount of money for me to leave, and they did. And that's when I went over to Comerica Bank. But my point is that we didn't abuse the company culture, even though we got a crazy amount of PTO time and all of this stuff. We never abused it because we understood that you just didn't get that anywhere else. You didn't get the type of leniency and the great management and all of that stuff. So we was always careful to do more than what was asked of us. Be on our best behavior. Never, abuse the system. We handled even if we had a disagreement amongst the team, we would handle it amongst ourselves instead of doing all of that, going to HR stuff. It just wasn't worth it because all of us would be messed up as a result of it. So my point is that when you start to, because I always tell people, leave it in the Patreon. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We just did a live stream today. If you mess up the company culture or you're not a cultural fit, that is the fastest way to get your ass up out of there. And the fact that they let you show up late, 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late, however long you want it to be late, they don't have to do that. The fact that they let you come in with a bonnet, you're not supposed to come in with a bonnet. You know what I'm saying? So people playing victim for something that they were already benefiting off of, and then letting that feed into why apparently, because I'm looking at it right at the bottom of the screen, over 500,000 black women are unemployed based off of layoffs and stuff. Maybe it's a little bit of maybe y'all need to start checking yourself and looking in the mirror instead of looking outward at the employers that have been giving you this leniency and allowing for you to be able to do what you're going to do all this time in the first place. If
Yes,
you getting into a bag, why are you trying to mess that up? If you got all this leniency, why are you trying to mess that up? You can't do that. You can't just be especially in this time, you got to be on your best behavior 100% of the time. You know what? Let me go all the way back. I'm going to play this from the beginning in its entirety, and then I want y'all, because I want to get the full picture that she's trying to paint without breaking it up a little bit.
I've been a pastor for over 20 years. This is a very important message that
The reason why there's over 500,000 black women that are getting laid off and having a hard time finding a job is because these companies no longer want to deal with any more racism and discrimination cases. Now, I worked in HR for over 10 years and I was actually let go because I took a look at our budget report and saw the pay differential between our white and black employees, and I exposed everything was ultimately let go. Now, being an HR girly, you're well connected with other women in HR at different companies, and a lot of us had the same experience. We would receive a lot of discrimination cases from black women in leadership positions. Now, keep in mind, these companies were required to maintain a certain amount of black and brown staff members at one point, and a lot of these women were ending up in management positions. Black women were at the top of their game for a while. But if they began to be a company nuisance, they would do anything to get their ass out of the door. And when I say a company nuisance, that means reporting discrimination, reporting racism. As soon as you do it, there is a target on your back. These companies will hold meetings with the top management and HR and say, hey, this person's becoming a company nuisance. They're affecting the company morale. What can we do to shorten their time with this company? At which point we would go through all the policies, procedures, your performance, the company handbook, and see if there is anything that they can do to get your ass up out of there. Things like you might have been able to be 15 minutes late consistently due to traffic before, but now they on your ass about your punctuality. You might have been able to come into the office with a bonnet every now and then because you're having a bad hair. Now the DEI is over with and they claims in other cases. If they reduce the amount of black women that they keep in the office, they don't have to deal with the whole angry black woman stereotype. They don't have to deal with the discrimination.
Listen, man, I think all this is fugazi. I think that as a culture, we need to understand that everything that we do is going to always be highlighted. Everything that we do is always going to be amplified. So to a certain degree, even though it should be equal, it should be the same type of consequences. Everybody else ain't doing it, you shouldn't be doing it. If everybody else ain't showing up late, you shouldn't be showing up late. Even if everybody else is showing up late, if you're black, you just can't show up late. If anything, you got to show up an hour early. Everything for us is going to be 100% harder. That's just a fact. And it's not a reason for us to be unsuccessful. It's actually even more of a reason for us to be successful. Just to let the people that's coming behind us know that anything is possible, a little bit of effort, man. That whole DEI situation, I don't really know too much about that. I think DEA is worth it, is important. I think that should have never been taken out or challenged. I don't know if it's 100% taken out. So that's just my take on it, man. even if you did get a position that you wasn't 100% qualified for, it's, what are the determination factors? And I'm pretty sure that people aren't just hiring people just because they're black and unqualified. Pretty sure they was hiring people because they are black. They do got to fill certain spaces and they're qualified. So drop a comment down below, man. Let me know what you guys think about this, man. I really want to know, your 2 cents on this, man. Is this young lady tweaking right now? Is she being is she telling the truth? Is she agreeable? I personally think that she did the right thing. Her heart was in the right place. Her actions was incorrect. She shouldn't have done that. Expose the company's back data. But her heart was in the right place. She got fired. I don't know how that works. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next.